Okay, so I guess at this point, um, I'm going to want to make network requests from here to the server. And that is so that the server can know, what part is active and it can re-render the UI or push the new state to the UI. Not exactly sure how to make that automatically refresh yet, but I think at this point I'm just going to put maybe like a meta refresh tag at the top of the web UI and just let it keep pulling every 5 seconds or whatever. My server can take it, obviously. It's just over the local network. Yeah, you want to go for it? You want to give it a try here? Let's just find out what blows up if we try to run it like this. I'm going to expect something like, hey, fetch is not found or something like that. Okay. Wonder if that means that the network request is actually going through. Okay, so if I make a request to example.com, that is not going to be JSON. So I would expect this line here that says parse it as JSON just not to work. Hey, all right. Hey, I don't need node fetch anymore. I can just call fetch straight from in here. Let's do that. Okay, so what is the fastest way to get this working? I'm going to put this on hold. I'm going to update the minimap to say that we are going to be hanging out in the UI because that's where I am right now. And I'm going to go into OBS and I'm going to refresh the architecture. So I'm going to hit minimap there and hit refresh. All right, we are working on the UI now. And I'm going to say automatically refresh the page repeatedly. Okay, is this all I need to do? I hope this is all I need to do. All right, so I have hit refresh. I'm going to go ahead and change this from UI to what are my options here? Extension. I'm going to hit extension, hit save. We're going to count to 5. 1, 2. Hey, all right. And going back to UI, great. So there's a lag time of, on average, 2.5 seconds. So that's fine by me. Although, like I said, my server can take it, so why not every second? I don't think that's going to burn up too many resources. And of course, now that I have the thing already refreshing, I can change the rate pretty easily. Yeah, all right, that's not bad at all. So switching it back to UI. Actually, not switching it back to UI. Let's switch it to the server. And in fact, you don't need to see my taskbar. You don't really need to see my start menu either. Let's make this a little bigger. How's that look? You know what? It might be nice if that lines up with the sidebar. Let's see if we can do that. It's a little on the small side, but it's just sneak in a little more space in there. Okay, you lose line numbers. Not ideal, but I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, let me know what you think. I know it's not very legible because it's my handwriting and all that, but I don't know. I've got a good feeling about it. Yeah, all right. I'm feeling that. Let's do that for now. So, server is highlighted. We're going to go into server, and now we're going to kind of be defining the API here. So, maybe the first thing I should do here is okay, cool. We've got this in source control now, at least. I feel like all I need is a single endpoint to say like what section should be highlighted, right? Yeah, all right. So I do need to just accept as like an API request what is now the active sort of part to highlight, but I think we also need how we're actually going to render it out. Like right now, we're just statically rendering that index.html. I don't really think that's going to cut it anymore. Yeah, we're going to have to move a couple of things around. So, first of all, I guess no real sense overcomplicating this. For now, let's just make the entire body the string that we think we want to represent the active workspace. Okay, fair. Okay, so here is the name of the component. I guess we're also going to have Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and update the active component to be whatever that string value is. So far, so good. So I'm going to go ahead and say static files now go in a folder called public. And that's going to let me move architecture.png up into public. And then that leaves me with the ability to say so for the root specifically, okay, so here, now we're going to pull in template. All right. So now this is a template, and you really maybe shouldn't be reparsing it every time a request comes in, like once a second, but my server can take it. I mean, it's running OBS. It's streaming, what is this, 2,000 bits per second, kilobits per second of video. It can handle reparsing the template once a second. Oh no, I just looked over at my stream. The that image is gone. Why is that? Oh. Sorry folks. I guess that's the downside with it refreshing once a second is when I'm not quite done here, it doesn't exactly do the right thing. Okay, so that yellow outline must mean that it's still loading the file. Okay, it just can't find architecture.png. Let's throw /public in there and see if that improves things. Yeah, all right, that's better. Good to know that this thing is live updating with whatever else it is that I break. Okay, so this one here. We are going to rename this to component. We're going to say the component is going to be a string, and we are going to set component to I don't really need fumped here. In fact, it's a bit overkill for what I'm doing here. We'll need it again at some point, I'm sure of it. Okay, the active component has been set. Right now, by default, it is the 0 value of a string, which is the empty string. But to see if this is working properly, I'm going to go ahead and set server down here. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. I guess the... how am I running this server? It's not in here. Ah, yes. Restarting the server. In fact, I might start. Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm going to cancel out of this and I'm going to start running the. Not that. I'm going to start running this Go server just directly out of. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so now I am running the Go server directly out of VS Code. Okay, it should be running. I assume that there has been some sort of error going on in OBS. OBS's embedded browser, so I'm going to hit refresh. Okay, that's good. We have lost the background again. We've lost the architecture diagram. So let's pop open a browser here and see how that goes. We should be able to go to localhost 8080, and sure enough, the web page loads. The yellow square looks like it's probably in the right place, but architecture.png is missing, and I think this is probably where there's some path-related stuff to do here. So minimap UI. What if I do like /public here? What even will that do? Okay, /public. Okay, so moving the declarations around a little bit seems to have helped. Great, and now the entire little display thing is back up here. Cool. Okay. So we know that fetch works here. I think all we have to do is send a fetch request in either of those two cases. Oh, we haven't handled the case where you don't have an editor open. So if you have no editor open, you just don't want anything to be highlighted. So right now we have active component and then some string. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that empty string represents nothing. I don't know what I would do without rewrap. It's so handy. Yeah, all right. That looks like a very long line. Nope, I just have my text size cranked up very large for stream. All right. Okay, good. I have changed active component around so that it can be the empty string to mean don't highlight anything. And I think that means that we can actually move on to the extension side so that it actually sends the request to my server. Um, just for now, hopefully for the last time, I'm going to select extension and then restart my server. And I should see over on the OBS side that if we're lucky, it'll highlight the extension. It does. Great. Man, with all these coordinates plugged in, I'm going to really wish that I'd taken that screenshot in a way that's a little easier for me to take the same screenshot with the same coordinates. But not bad that, today during one of these, what I thought was going to be a planning session, we actually managed to, get elbows deep into the code here. It would be nice if I didn't have to come in here and manually refresh every time my server goes down. That's probably something to look at in the future. Okay, extension time. Just moving some code around a little bit. This inline callback's getting a little bit long. So I'm going to make all of these requests fire and forget. If I end up having a situation where I've actually got flaky behavior or something like that, I'll come back in and throw in the awaits or whatever. But for now, everything else is synchronous. And since I'm not really waiting for anything from this fetch, it's just let it ride. Okay, we need to make a post to component. Okay, that should work. Ho- Hopefully. Oh, we need to give it a request body. That should really be the default, shouldn't it? Well, let's do it. Let's see. And then for everything else, we're going to have to map from the workspace folder name to component name. I think they were called UI server and extension. Does that sound right? UI server and extension. Sure, let's make this unnecessarily modern here. Okay, so if this doesn't find anything, it returns undefined. So if I pass in the key undefined, that'll also be okay. I'll just get undefined back out. And anytime it's undefined, I just want the empty string anyway. So by doing that, I can eliminate this if else, which is great. Well, okay. Fair. Well, this just kind of ended up turning out just the way I had it earlier, huh? No problem, though. The similar part has essentially factored itself back out, which is nice. I don't think that's much better, but it is a little bit better. I think that should do it. Do we dare try this out? I think we dare try this out. Hopefully, it'll let me run both. Oh, drat. I can't open this same workspace from this separate window here, so I guess there's no reason why I couldn't just close the workspace in my other folder here. So I'm going to shut everything down. The mini map is going to. Am I pointing the right way? Mini map is going to disappear for just a little bit. Hopefully, just only a little bit. I'm going to go and close this workspace. And then I'm just going to open the extension source. So I'm hoping that I can open this up as a folder, but then still be able to open up the entire workspace that includes this folder from the extension debugging window there. So I'm going to fire that up. Okay. I'm going to. This is going to get kind of confusing, but from the VS Code window where I'm doing the from the VS Code window where I'm doing all this extension stuff, I am going to start up the server. And also I'm going to replace the old launch config with the new one that is aware of workspaces. One more time here. Okay. That's running now. Gonna pop on into OBS again. Okay, yeah, good. Now the moment of truth. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go into VS Code and I'm going to go into the not this one. Huh. Oh, okay. So I am actually gonna. I'm gonna actually want to handle those exceptions and not just purely fire and forget them. Got it. That's fine. Um, However, I should now be able to see that. Well, actually, none of this is going to work because for some reason my fetch calls aren't working. So let's pop on over here and figure out what is actually going on. Why is it? Why is the fetch failing? So what I wanted to avoid doing, and what I'm still going to try to avoid doing, is I'm going to make this async. I'm going to get my result here. And because I am using an async function here and I'm awaiting that fetch, that also means that this await is going to cause any failure in fetch. Like if I get back a rejected promise, that's going to turn into an error exception thing that gets thrown. Also, I'm just realizing now that I don't want to have to deal with two of these, so I'm going to move the fetch all the way out here, and then I'm going to set the component name. Well, I'm going to declare it a little further up. In fact, can we just say that the default is empty string? So if no editor is active, empty string. If workspace folder is undefined, empty string. It's just all going to be empty string unless something actually interesting happens. So anytime a did change active text editor happens and I don't know how to deal with it, it's just going to clear that yellow rectangle from the minimap entirely. Okay, so now that I've centralized all of these into a single await, I can make it a put it into a try block. Catch E, which because of the way that JavaScript TypeScript works, it's going to be an any. And I'm just going to say, when this fails, drop me into the debugger. Ah, yes, this is going to kill my server every time, isn't it? It sure is. That might be an argument in favor of me starting up the server outside of the VS Code window, which I can totally do, and in fact, I'm going to do now. Great. Hopefully, this is the last time I need to come in here and manually refresh, at least for a little while. Okay. Opening a file in Minimap UI. Back here, we see the output is Okay, so choosing a file seems to be. Oh, is it actually okay? So it's in the server now. Let's pick a file out of the extension. Great. All right. What about when I close it entirely? Did I just forget to restart the extension? Whatever it was, it seems to be working. All right. I don't really care about it when things are successful because I'm going to see a UI update only in the failure case. I'm going to log an error and then just move on from there. I guess since I am doing an asynchronous operation, fine, I'll make this an async function. Oops. Just amending that one, and this is going to be. Okay, now I think we are in a good place. So if I'm editing something in minimap X, I click on it, highlights the yellow area there, I close it, it unhighlights, I open up index.html, it highlights the yellow box. All right, I think that's pretty good for one day, especially one day where the primary plan was to get a little bit of planning done. I think we're a fair ways along.